Hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to another balcony talk. Maybe that's what we call them. Just got done with a 4 mile run, technically 3.97 miles, but finished that run this morning. I had about 740 pace. And if you are a runner and you are on the Strava app and you want to connect and you want to just track miles or have something for accountability, you can put your Strava and the comments, but I'll put my Strava link in the description as well in case you guys wanted to connect there, kind of see what's going on. But man, was that a start to the morning. And not the start of saying like, oh, everything was just so amazing. This was all so great. Don't get me wrong, the run was phenomenal. It was great people to be around, a great atmosphere, great energy as always. The only, I wouldn't even call it a pitfall, but that's how we can categorize it today, is there weren't a lot of opportunity to have moments to myself this morning. And who's to blame for that? Me, of course. I woke up around 7:20, maybe like 7:25, and the run was at 8. Place once again like 20 something minute drive. So I'm rushing, scrambling, trying to get a snack in, trying to grab some fruit, trying to get some water in, trying to hydrate, and my body's not warmed up, especially for a run. And I'm like, man, I didn't have the opportunity to just relax. And it's not even in relaxing in the sense like I'm gonna be lazy or anything for the day, but allowing your mind to gradually build up its pace. It's the same thing that we have to do when we are running, when we are working out in general. You have to warm up. You have to build up that pace. Trying to start a day on go on 100% right off the bat is going to be draining, especially for the rest of your day. You know, you have at least another 12 hours of daylight, depending also when you wake up. But time the rest of the day that you're going to have to maybe interact with people. You're going to be maybe working out later in the day, maybe hanging with family, maybe you have some schoolwork, maybe you have some things for your job to do. You have so many other things that are just on your mind. And when you are rushing and scrambling in the morning, you don't give yourself enough space in your mind to be able to be fully present with all the other things that you have going on because you were in such a rush and such in 100% mode right off rip. That stuff can be draining. Everything is a gradual process, and that's definitely something that I was able to just look back on, even in the few hours that I've had from this morning. Did I still crush the run? Yes, absolutely. That's something that I've been accustomed to, of working out on very low energy and being in that routine of needing to do something right off the bat. That was something that it's normal. What's not normal for me is just having the moment to sit to yourself and be present with what's going on. That's something that's not normal for me. And that's what I'm slowly progressing into my life to make more apparent in my life. We all spend so much time on go all the time. You see everything online that's this hustle culture. I have to be the first to do this. I got to be the first one to bring this out. I got to do this. I got to be up at 5 a.m. so I could do this and crank these 100 push-ups in. It's like, if that's what you believe, that's how life is supposed to be. If that's what you believe that is going to put you in the next echelon of your life, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But in all honesty, I don't think that's going to be anything that's really worthwhile. I've done both of those sides. My first 2 years of college, I happened to be in the Air Force Academy. That was a school that I was at, so being there, man, and this zipper is burning. This sun out here is kicking. Oh my gosh. Um, being at the academy, you have a routine. You know, you have to be up at certain times. You have to not only being there for your military duties, but I was there for football on top of it. So I had workouts, I had practice, I had meetings, I had class, I had what we called GRs early in the morning. I remember some exams being 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and you still got to get breakfast. Being in that routine, especially in the military, definitely puts you in that on go mode all the time. Especially freshman year at that school, as soon as you wake up, it's alarms, it's the trumpets, you're getting woken up out of your sleep, you got people banging on your doors. You know, that type of environment is ingraining in people's brains to always be on alert, to always be on go. And so even being in that type of environment doesn't really teach you how to be present and take control of your own life. You're in control of whatever somebody else is telling you. You're in control of whatever that schedule has been assigned to you. And I believe that's a lot of the direction of how these schools are teaching you. They are preparing you day by day to follow these rules, practice these exams, take these tests for 8 hours a day, sitting on. Man, you may be sitting down maybe 6, 7 hours out of the day. You're not moving around. You're not really getting any type of physical activity in. A lot of us are becoming very sedentary, and then they are progressing you to acquire this knowledge to go sit into a job so you can go sit down for more hours out of your day, thinking that you are being the most productive thing on this planet, and ultimately you're just this little small blip. You know, if you ever got the chance to take a flight and being in the plane, you get to see the zoomed out perspective. You get to see the entire city. You get to see the entire place that you're living in. But through this entire time, maybe out of all the years you've been living where you are, all the months you've been living where you are, the same routine, the same streets, the same walks, the same offices, the same people over and over and over again. You're walking in the same bubble, the same loop, the same rat race. And you get stuck in that. You never really even get to realize what's everything else that's going on around you. You know, when do you actually get your opportunity to sit here and actually look around at what's going on? And why do we not make it a priority to sit down and have those moments to just see what's going on? And why are we trained that way? Why is that the system that people believe to be right? And maybe it works for some people, but I firmly believe that I don't. That shouldn't be the way to go. You know, believe we should be able to get sunlight. I believe you should be able to get movement in. I believe you should be able to take care of your health and have that as a priority. We try to bring up the excuse of I need a mental health break or whatever now at work. But those mental health breaks should be intentional, not a mental health break just to get a little time off the clock. Something that you are really being present of, spending time to actually observe what are the thoughts, what are the patterns that you are having, not in some very statistical, psychological, deep way, but just learning and understanding the way your brain works. If you can understand your patterns and what works for you and what things bring you peace and what things actually bring you joy, you should be finding ways to incorporate that into your routine day after day. If you're able to do that day after day and finding yourself in more peace and more gratitude and more joy, you would never stop. You know, you would never stop doing those things. You would never have, there won't be moments where you're like, man, I hate this, you know? when you get those moments to be truly in that bliss, you get to go back into that workplace and be a little bit calmer. You know, there may be that one coworker that's really pissing you off. There may be that one customer who's really ticking you off. There may be that one client that's really just giving you a hard time. There may be that one professor, teacher, classmate that's really just giving you a hard time. And your patience and your tolerance is very low because you're overstimulated in the mornings. You wake up in a hurry. I got to get to class. I got to get my coffee. I got to get my notes done. I didn't study enough last night. You're in this constant hurry. So with that hurry, now you're already irritable going into wherever you're going into. And there's so many ways that just finding a moment to be present can be so beneficial into your life. So take note of those. Take note of those days where you're waking up in a hurry. And take note of those days when you wake up in a little slower pace. Something that I love for you guys to do is the next time that you make your breakfast or the next time you make your lunch, I want you to have no phone around you, no iPad around you, whatever tablet, computer, any of those. I want you to just cook your meal one by one. Just make your plate, set the plate, and enjoy that experience. Put some time into the meal that you're about to create. Put your time into what you're about to put into your body for fuel. Enjoy every little moment and stay fresh with everything that you do, in the way that you live, the way that you eat, the way that you hydrate yourself, and whatever things that you do. You want to be as fresh as possible so you can operate as smoothly as possible. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see y'all later.